spiritual elevation, this world has been perfectly created. You will say, what perfectly created, Swamiji? In our family itself, there is fighting between husband, wife, son, daughter, mother, father. What kind of world is this? In spite of all this fighting, you don't go towards God. Supposing you had happiness in your family, where would have been the question of God? So God's creation is perfect to take us higher, to take us further. God's creation is not defective. The problems we experience is because of the inner world. So that is why we, for detachment, have to finish that inner world. That also we have heard. It is the inner world that needs to be finished, and outer world nobody can finish. However, Narad ji says, even from the outer world, you be careful. Because when the outer world is there, the inner world starts increasing. One boy, he wants ice creams. So sometimes he says, Mommy, I want ice cream. But he doesn't say it all the time. Now you put an ice cream in front of him, he will go out of control. Ice cream, ice cream. Why? That outer world came, so the inner world, the desire for the ice cream increased. So similarly, Narad ji says here, all these worldly discussions, you just stay away from them. Be careful. Just like when you plant a sapling, you are very careful. You put a fence around it, no goat should come and graze it away. It should keep receiving water on a daily basis. It should receive sufficient sunlight, but not so much that it dries up. And once that sapling has grown big into a banyan tree, now you tie an elephant with it, nothing will happen. But initially, you were careful. So Narad ji here has given us a word of caution. He says that do not associate with the external world more than necessary. Because before this, he told us, you live in the world and do your duty. So doing duty is one thing. You need to earn money, you go and work in your office from 9 to 5. That is doing your duty. But then, I have got to go to my friend's wedding. Otherwise, he will feel bad. And this person has come and I have to sit and talk with him for half an hour. And what is he talking? All worldly things. This happened there, that fellow happened this, and this person did that. So this is much more than duty. And Narad ji says, don't do this. The mind is already material. The material mind relishes material topics. You tell somebody, that friend of yours? Yeah, what about it? His daughter? What about her? I'll not tell it to you. Oh, come on, please tell me. Why are you getting so interested? She has started engaging in devotion. Oh, such an ordinary thing. I thought there'll be some important matter. She has run away with someone or been made to go somewhere. These material topics, we experience interest in it because the mind is material. And spiritual topics, if Swamiji's pravachan, instead of 1 hour, it becomes 2 hours, except for Swamiji, everybody will be asleep. So, the mind is such, Narad ji says, be careful of the external world, do not associate, do not hear about it, do not engage in these material discussions any more than necessary. Sutra number 64. Abhiman, dambha dikam, tyajyam. So abhiman is pride. This pride is blocking the grace of God. Paul Deussen had said, egotism is like a cloud. that keeps God hidden from our sight. If by the mercy of the true Guru, egotism vanishes, then God is seen in His full glory. So, what is separating us from God is this egotism. Saint Kabir put it very nicely. He said, "Jab main tha, tab hari nahi. Ab hari hai, main nahi. Prem gali ati sankari, ya me dvain samahi." He says, when this ego, aham bhav, self-consciousness was there, God was not there. And when this self, I am, this finished, then God automatically manifested. So this pride is blocking the grace of God. Narad ji says, you give it up. To attain God, you don't need any kind of makeup, any artificiality, any form of behavior, any kind of pretense. God says, I am not impressed by any of these. You become simple. Just like when you were born, you were so simple. In front of God and Guru, you go back to that state. Sarala swabhava na man kutilai. God says, I am not impressed by cunningness and deceit. These things help you in the world. You know, the world is such that people, they learn how to impress others, how to say things, how to sit so that others will be impressed, how to wear clothes so that others will be impressed. This is all that we keep on learning in the world. So when we go in the realm of God and Guru, the same nature manifests. What should I do to impress them? But the rule out there is they are not impressed by these external things. They say you become humble, simple, and trusting. But our nature has become one of cunningness. You see, we did cunningness with brother and sister, father and mother. We went into business, and there we learned more cunningness. So that became our nature. Like the tail of a dog is crooked, you pull it, it will not do. You release it, again it is crooked. So crookedness became the nature in the world. And when we go towards God, we use the same formula. With God also, with the Guru also. And God says this will not do. Nirmal man jana so mohi pava mohi kapat chal chidran bhava. There are so many stories in every religious tradition that teach us this simple principle that you become simple and you can attain God. There is a Sufi story. Hazrat Musa, he was a prophet before Muhammad. He is also considered a prophet by the Jews and the Christians. Prophet Moses. You see, the Muslims say that before Muhammad there have been many prophets, but none after Muhammad. Like the Christians also say, before Christ there have been prophets, but not after. So, they all accept Moses as a saint. Now this story is a Sufi story that Hazrat Musa or Moses, he was going one place and a shepherd, a Gadariya boy, was sitting on this boulder. His sheep were grazing around and he was talking to Allah. So he said, "Oh Khuda, you must be busy in your works of this world. You must be getting tired. You have to go to so many places. Please come here. I will press your feet for you. You must be hungry. I'll give you the goat milk to drink. Your blanket must be having bugs in it because you don't have time to clean it. Please come, let me extract the bugs out from there. So Hazrat Musa, he heard this and he stood there and he told the boy, "Who are you?" The boy was startled out of his reverie. He said, "I'm a shepherd." Hazrat Musa said, "Whom were you talking to?" "I was talking to Khuda." "What? You have insulted Khuda. You think Khuda's slippers can get worn out? You think Khuda is going to drink your sheep milk? You think Khuda can have bugs in his blanket? What kind of talk have you done with Khuda?" The poor boy was horrified. "Oh, what is this transgression I have committed?" He said, "Paigambar Sahab, what is the repentance for this?" He said, "There is no repentance. It is such a terrible offense at the feet of Allah." The poor shepherd felt so bad in lamentation, he went and fainted somewhere. Now Hazrat Musa was going somewhere when Allah started speaking. Allah said, "He has not committed the offense, you have committed it. I made you a paigambar, a saint, and sent you in the world that you take people towards me. You did the reverse." I was hearing what he was saying and I was delighted by his talk. It was so simple. It was coming from the heart. No makeup, no hypocrisy. Not that I am a great scholar, I have learned all this, let me praise you with this. None of this. It was spoken with pure love. And you have turned him away from me. Go and ask for forgiveness. Poor Hazrat Musa went and caught his feet and said, "Please forgive me. The way you were talking to Allah, continue talking like that." So these kinds of stories are in every religious tradition. There is a Christian story. There was this church with a deity of Mother Mary. Now people would go there and ask Mother Mary for things. There was a clown. He used to perform on the streets, and after his performance he would put out his begging bowl to get any kinds of donations. He would work hard from morning to night, but he would still not get enough to eat. So he thought that everybody goes to Mother Mary to ask, let me also go. So he went into the church in the evening when everybody retired. He hid somewhere. After a few hours, it was night, everything was silent in the church. So he said, all right now. He cleared off some of the tables and he started dancing before Mother Mary. He thought, in the world I show my dance and then I ask for something, so I have to ask Mother Mary for something. Let me please her with my dance. He was very simple. He never thought it is a stone deity. He thought it is actually Mother Mary there. So he said, let me show her. And he kept on dancing, jumping from here to there. He was an acrobat. So sound started coming outside. And one priest said, what is the matter? We are hearing sounds from inside the church. They peeped in through the window and they saw this acrobat jumping here and there, falling on the tables. Now there was a great uproar outside. They broke open the door and they started beating him up. You have spoiled the decorum of this church. What is this you have done? There is sweat and broken furniture. At that time there was a great light. Mahaprakash, Mother Mary manifested herself. And she said, don't beat him. He is the one who is dear to me. You all would come here every day and do a drama. He really believed that I am here. He is the one who's got real devotion. So, how did these people attain God? Not through great scholastic aptitude, simply out of faith. So that is what Narad ji is saying, that to attain God, you have to reject hypocrisy. You have to reject pride and become simple. You see, some people say, Swamiji, how will we become simple? God has made us of a crooked heart and sent us in this world. We are not able to trust anyone. And that is why we cannot even trust God and Guru. That's not a fact. When God sent us in this world, He sent us simple-minded. Just think, when we were little, for so many days, we drank our mother's milk without complaining. We never said, add sugar in it. However, when we grew old, mother gave us external milk and she added sugar there. Now we kept on drinking that sugared milk and our habit deteriorated. One day there was no sugar at home. Mother gave us milk without sugar. We spat it out. What kind of milk is this? Put sugar in it. My son, you were drinking my milk. That time you never demanded sugar. Now what has happened to you? Mummy, you have spoilt my habit by giving me sugar milk. Now I can't drink without sugar. From there, the habit started deteriorating. The first time, the parents put some solid in the mouth of the child, some dal or sabzi, the child's face becomes red. What is this you have put inside? But as we become habituated, now we want shat ras, the 6 kinds of rasas. If somebody gives us the same dal every day, we say, what, I have got bored, give some other dal. If we get the same sabzi, we say, I have got bored. Now, all this did not exist when we were children. This happened later on. Similarly, all the cunningness did not exist when we were children. We were taught cunningness. First, the parents taught us.